The pentatonic scale is one of the first things we learn on the guitar when we start getting into soloing and improvisation. This scale can be your best friend and your go-to, but using it constantly can make you dread it very quickly. You may get tired of repeating those same licks, and more times than not, you will feel limited with those boxed positions. In this video, you will learn some tips and tricks to make that pentatonic scale your best friend again. You will learn about grace notes, motifs, as well as mixing those pentatonic shapes with modes. So let's get into it. So the first thing we can go over is mixing the modes with the pentatonic scale. I'm not going to be covering modes in this video, I'm just going to be giving you some examples of how to mix them together. If you want to learn more about modes, then check out this video after you're done watching this one. You can mix almost any mode with the corresponding major or minor pentatonic scale. For example, if we're playing in minor pentatonic, then our options are Aeolian, Phrygian, and Dorian. The reason I didn't include Locrian mode is because it's a whole other thing, and we'll talk about that in some other video. In the next few examples and throughout this video, I'm going to be using the Dorian mode. The best way to start mixing the modes with your pentatonic is to learn the mode shape first. Thankfully, the pentatonic scales come from these minor modes, so the shapes are the same, but with a few extra added notes. So here is the pentatonic scale, and here is the Dorian mode. Now you may be thinking, if I'm playing the Dorian mode, wouldn't that already be a mix of both since the pentatonic scale comes from this minor mode? Well, technically yes. But if you focus on just playing the 5 pentatonic notes and adding some Dorian notes in here and there, that will sound a lot different if you just play the Dorian mode with no intentions of focusing on those 5 pentatonic notes. In this example, I'm going to be playing over a B Dorian backing track. I will start by only playing the pentatonic. I will then start adding in some Dorian notes here and there, which will be a good mix of both. And towards the end of the solo, I will only focus on just playing the Dorian mode without really focusing on the 5 pentatonic notes. So you will be able to hear the difference of all 3. So you'll have just the pentatonic, a good blend between both of them, and then just the mode itself. Now to spice up the blend of these two scales even more, we can add something called grace notes. To make it simple, grace notes are when you slide or bend into a correct note from a wrong note. You will hear a lot of jazz players use this technique, but it sounds great with blues and rock as well. Here is an example of using grace notes in your solo. To incorporate it into your playing, first get comfortable with the scale or mode that you are playing with. Once you do that, then start by sliding or bending into the root of the key that you are playing in from a half step below or a fret lower, like this. So we have B as the root, since we are playing in the B Dorian scale, and we just start a half step or fret lower and simply slide or bend into the B. You can do this to all the notes within the B Dorian scale, you just have to find which ones you like best. Now you're not limited to just sliding or bending up. You can also slide down into a correct note from a wrong note, like this. Now, I'm not going to leave you hanging. To really understand and practice this, you have to be able to implement it yourself. So I attached some licks in the description below that you can practice with to get more comfortable using grace notes. I hope it helps. So for my last tip, try incorporating motifs in your playing. You probably hear motifs being used in the music you listen to all the time, but you just didn't know that it had a name. A motif is when you repeat the same exact lick you just played, but this time you play it an octave higher or lower. Here's an example. To incorporate motifs in your playing, it's helpful to know the notes on the guitar neck, as well as being familiar with other scale shapes and having somewhat of a trained ear. Some people don't know the note names, but their ear is what guides them to find those other octaves of that same lick. You have to figure out what works best for you. But if you can learn to do all those things, then playing the guitar will come much easier to you. If you want to start by learning the note names, then check out this video right here. And if you want to learn more about modes, then check out this video right here as well. Thanks for watching this week's video. Don't forget about your free licks down in the description below, and let me know in the comments if there's a topic that you would like me to cover in a later video. I'll see you next week, and as always, keep on playing.